So today we're going to talk about pizza. Loads and loads of pizza. I love pizza. I'm a pizza slut. I was just talking about my slut-orientated attitude towards this amazing, beautiful thing in the world called pizza. And I'm sure many of our listeners will agree that you're a pizza fan too. So today I'm incredibly excited to finally, after many attempts, many requests, many referrals, I've got the man himself, the CEO of Roman's Pizza in the house. Welcome, John Nikolakakis. Woo! Hello, brother. There's your mic. Have a seat.
What's happening?
The hot seat.
Feels a bit warm.
You were just there. Cool. So, Roman's Pizza. I know many of us love pizza. And so, to that end, before we jump into the meat and the potatoes, was that the cheese and the
the cheese and the meat.
The cheese and the meat this time. I'm going to send Mav outside right now to order pizzas, actually, from your store, which is down the road here. Bye-bye, Mav. We're going to order 6 pizzas. I believe you're running an awesome special, 2 for like 100 and something. What is it?
Any 2 large pizzas, only $129.90. All day, every day.
You can't
Crazy,
argue with that value.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? All pizza's not the same, by the way. So we're going to put that to the test. So having said that, while we wait for our pizzas, we're also going to play a very fun game with you later to see how well you actually know your stuff or your own product. But let's go back, dude. So obviously, I think it's well documented if anyone's done any research, but your dad was the founder of Roman's Pizza, and you've kind of taken the company over and kind of grown it immeasurably. You just told me how much you guys make. It's fucking insane. But aside from that, when you cast your mind back, were you like, why was pizza your thing? Was it because dad was, had this rad brand, Roman's Pizza? Like, were you on the fence about it? Did you ever doubt, taking it on at all? Like that initial step, walk us through that.
So I've always been fairly entrepreneurial from a young age. My father's always been in restaurants and or food. So I grew up in the restaurant business, from helping out in the restaurants, washing dishes, to working as a waiter, to working as a manager in high school when my father first started with the Roman's Pizza brand. But I decided there's no way I want to do this. I want to go into finance. So I studied, got a piece of paper, and joined a German bank in Rosebank as a currency trader, forex trader.
German bank?
Commerzbank, yeah.
Okay.
Based in Johannesburg in Rosebank as a currency trader, where I traded forex, which was very exciting. It really was.
Back, what year was this?
This was 2001.
Okay.
And everything was going great. I had my life planned out. I'm going to join this international bank for a year and get transferred to Europe with New York. Party with the traders, make $10 million bonuses, and then 9/11 happened.
Ugh.
So all the banks started retrenching, yada, yada, yada. My father, at the same time, we were previously named Little Caesars. And
oh, was that you?
That was us.
No way, dude. I remember that. That's a blast from the past.
Yeah, Caesars Palace had opened the casino, and they decided to sue us for infringement of IP. Combined with Little Caesars America at that time. And my father said, we got to rebrand. We spoke to the best guys in the industry, and they said 5 years, you could win. If you lose, the Americans' legal fees will bankrupt you. So at the same time, he said he was thinking of selling the business after the rebranding. And what was I thinking of doing with my life? At which point I said, I'll come join you. I'm out of banking. I understand this business. I've grown up in it, and let's see where we can go.
Dude, what was it like working with your dad? Because my dad also being an entrepreneur, obviously, it keeps coming up on the show, like how instrumental parents actually are. You know what I mean? Like in your life, in my life, in Maths and Mignoni's life, Chris Chaffner, Danny Kay, just very instrumental. I would hate to work with my old man. I genuinely would. Like, were you apprehensive about that? Because like being dad and son is one thing, but then like the dynamic between father and son, especially when it comes to business, is a whole different thing.
There was zero apprehension going in, but after going in, yeah, it's been an interesting ride. I mean, my father is a true alpha male, so am I. They say we're fairly stubborn, and we want what we want. So yeah, it's had major challenges, but as much as it's had its challenges, The beauty of it was my father gave me rope to literally either pull myself up or hang myself from when I came into the business, and basically a white piece of paper and said, run. And he was very, very flexible. All the lessons I've learned from him. I mean, ultimately, he was my true mentor, whether it was at high school, over holidays, school holidays, going to the countryside with him to scout a site or whatever it might have been, spending time with him, him sharing all his lessons. He's always been an entrepreneur. He's started multiple business, been in business for himself for years. That's where my base and my foundation came from. So have we had boxing matches? Like you cannot believe. Have we had fallouts? Like you cannot believe. But it's always been purely for the best interests of the business. There have been no hidden agendas. If you have a partner or colleague, you don't really know what their agenda is. In this case, we're both boxing for what we believe to be in Roman's Pizza's best interests, which I think makes it easier to swallow.
Yeah. Have you read a book called Principles by Ray Dalio?
No, I haven't.
Dude, please read that book if as a suggestion, because Ray Dalio is the founder of, what's that bloody fund now? I've actually gone blank. Bridgewater.
Okay.
Massive fund. Like he manages like the richest of the richest cash, right? So, and he's built Bridgewater's culture based on the principles. The whole book's called Principles. It's about work and personal and stuff like that. And one of his principles is like radical and open transparency and authenticity when you're talking to anyone in the business. It's like if you disagree and you want to say fuck you, then you say fuck you, I disagree. You know what I mean? And you don't take that personally. You take that as someone disagreeing because, by the way, it's about an idea meritocracy, a democracy around ideas. In other words, that's kind of what you're saying, right? Which is you had these kind of like, heated debates and disagreements and so forth in the best interests of the business. So what do you attribute successful communication to? In other words, what advice do you have for an entrepreneur potentially listening to us right now who is battling with communication? Because I look at my team and we all communicate very differently. What is how do you make sure that you communicate like a boss?
I think that's the biggest challenge, and especially being a fairly entrepreneurial company that was fairly high growth in the early days. It was still based on a traditional business model, linear growth, slightly exponential, but it didn't embrace the new age, so to speak, of a bottom-up approach. We were always top-down. Everything revolved around the CEO and the senior team. So we've gone through, or attempting to go through, a cultural transformation of exactly that, trust and transparency. But it's very difficult when you have an ingrained culture to change that culture. So that is a challenge. I've always had an open door policy. I mean, regardless of where you are in the company, you can walk into my office and tell me, John, go get fucked. You're a doers. The problem is you have to substantiate it. Yeah. If you don't, we're going to have an issue. Yeah. But I believe in that. I believe we are all equals, regardless of our title. The only difference is I've got more pressure than you do, and I've got to look after you indirectly and look after your family and make the bigger decisions and make correct decisions on the bigger decisions because you all are reliant on me. Outside of that, each and every person plays a critical, important role in an organization. We suck at communication at Romans. Our next challenge is to go down to store level and to chat to the guys in the kitchens. How to improve our processes. How do we improve our systems? I'd love to tell you I make pizza every day in a shop. I'd be lying through my teeth. I haven't made a pizza in a while. So I'm completely disconnected from that process.
But you've had pizza recently, right?
Plenty. And only Roman's
Because if you
pizza.
haven't, you're about to.
Maybe I should take that back.
Yeah, but it's interesting what you're saying, right? Because there's the communication that you have at your boardroom level, right? And then you've got the grassroots level. I mean, obviously you've got 200, how many stores now?
235.
235 stores, right? We have one. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a fundamentally different way that you approach communication. Here I just shout and bark orders and stuff and usually swear a lot. But with you have to be more measured. You're looking at obviously cultural differences make a difference here, but at scale, everything becomes far more complicated, right? And it's interesting because sometimes to scale things, you have to do the things that don't scale, right? And effective communication is the bridge between those two things. So, how have you approached scale? Like, going back to, I don't know how many stores you had when you had to rebrand initially, but let's just say 28 stores. I mean, okay, add another 200 stores on that, that's a bloody huge effort. Like, how have you approached scale as it relates to kind of like communications? How have you ensured? I know you said you suck at it, but you can't really suck at something that much. You've got 235 stores, you know what I mean? So
the smaller you are, the easier it is. And when you're a small team and you're a team of 3 people, I mean, you're going to have amazing communication because it's the 3 of you. And obviously, as you grow, more people come into the picture, and that's where it gets tricky. You get broken records. This one said that. The blaming game starts. To be blatantly honest, for us, it's been a raw hands-on approach permanently. So we don't do structured meetings. I'm embarrassed to tell you that I've never had a management meeting.
Seriously?
Yep. Which has to change. You get to a certain level and you realize,
now
I am the cog in the wheel here. And maybe I should get myself out of the company. But the truth is, it's regular touching of each and every department. So the guys are permanently in contact with me. I'm in permanent contact with them. They're in permanent contact with each other, which works very well on a one-on-one basis. The problem is to communicate to everybody together as one, and that is where the management meetings have started, and they've had to start to put all of us on the same page, because I'm communicating with you, and then I'm communicating with development, and I'm communicating with ops. But when do ops and development communicate, and do they carry the same message through? That is where the challenge has been. So as much as I hate structure, we've obviously reached a size where we've had to put in structure and become slightly more corporate. So what we're saying is, over the years, I kept on saying when we were smaller, we want to be corporate. We want a corporate culture. And then one day I woke up and I realized I'm a cafe owner. We're one big cafe. That's our culture. So do we really want to change our culture? We can improve on it. What we need is corporate processes and systems, but not a corporate culture per se, depending how you define that.
Well, yeah, you don't want a corporate culture. Sorry, people don't dig that shit.
No, we realize no way. I mean, the flexibility that we have. The reason we grew as fast as we did was due to our flexibility, due to being able to innovate, move a lot faster than the bigger companies. I mean, the bigger you get, the more difficult it is to navigate. And that's what we want to try keep, that core, the flexibility, the movement. But again, you got to put systems in place to measure. If you're going to take multiple risks across your organization, you got to be able to measure those risks. If you don't, it could end up being catastrophic.
Absolutely. But yet you're still successful, right? So systems, no systems, culture, corporate culture, agile, whatever you want to call it, you're still a successful business, right? By all accounts. So what do you attribute that success to? Do you think it's, because I mean, like, with respect, and as you know, like, you're a price low brand, right? I don't know if I've said that correctly, but
the value leader.
The value leader, that's better.
Price leader.
Very well, yeah, exactly, right. So you get more pizza, more bang for your buck with Roman's Pizza, right? And I guess in South Africa's economy, especially mass markets, people aren't exactly affluent, as much as we like to bullshit ourselves in boardrooms that, there's a fortune at the top of the pyramid. It's actually at the bottom. So is that the story, though? Like, what do you attribute Roman's Pizza scale story and success to?
There's a combination of factors. I got to put it out there. Probably the biggest one is luck. I've got to say it. Timing. We had a 17-year retail boom in this country that has unfortunately come to a grinding halt overnight. And there were a lot of guys who did startups at the time, and yes, they didn't succeed where we did. Fair enough. But we had the wind at our backs, and the wind at our backs allowed a lot of risks that I took that weren't as calculated as they probably would have been in hindsight. Had I known what I know today, some of them could have bankrupted us, like signing with a 28-store base, signing 15, 20 new leases a year with no franchisees, hoping you're going to find them. And thankfully we did. Had we not, we would have had a bit of a problem. Yeah. So the economy played a part there. Not knowing what I don't know played a big part, because I couldn't see the risks at hand. Where had I been able to see them, and as I've gotten older, I've obviously become slightly more conservative. And probably from a raw business strategy 101, discipline. we've always known who we are. We've never tried to be everything for everyone. So we're a non-delivery brand. How can you be a non-delivery brand? We didn't accept credit cards till 6-7 years ago. How can you not accept credit cards? But credit card commissions at 3-4% that you're paying off to the bank,
It's a big
why
deal.
must you pay them? When you're the discounter,
Yeah.
you can't afford to accept that. So we've been extremely disciplined in what segment of the market we're competing and who we are. And I think that helped a lot. We didn't go add chicken burgers to our menu. We didn't go add steaks to our menu like some other guys did. We stayed disciplined in our focus and what is true to us and our values.
Yeah, you didn't get distracted by the shiny stuff, right? And that's the temptation, isn't it?
100%.
We were talking about Singularity University before we went on air, about disruption and all these words are fucking loaded in my view, but yet very real, and yet what I think's really like amazing from your business perspective is that you've kept things very simple. Do you know what I mean? We don't do delivery. Oh my God, like I didn't even know that until now. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even know that, but it was all because you are the value brand,
Correct.
right? And so you never ever, like not even 1 degree left or 1 degree right. It was you that brand.
There's delivery as an example now specifically. There's multiple reasons. We have had very strong franchisees who've tried delivery, and within a month they're like, no go. Labor, unfortunately, isn't always stable. So I've phoned other delivery operators in the past. I phoned them at 8:30 at night. They'll be like, no, our drivers are out. Sorry, we can't deliver. What we've realized, as funny as this is, the more you're going to interact with a customer, the better the chances are you're going to stuff something up. That's just the nature of things. People make mistakes. We're human beings. So we said, let's interact as little as possible. So we interact with you twice. You order, you collect. If there's a problem, at least it's in store and we can fix it there and then. If you now order delivery and 2 hours later on a busy Friday night, you famished, and it's happened to me before, the product comes cold. The product doesn't come at all, or the product comes wrong.
Or the topping slid off the bloody pizza base because the driver's been in a rush.
Or the driver has eaten half your pizza, like has
is that
happened
a
in
thing?
the past. That has happened. You can Google it. I won't mention any names. So
Google
there's-
it. Let's mention names.
So, I mean, there's various reasons why we don't do it, but ultimately the main one is we're saying we are the value leader. Nobody can beat us on price, purely for the fact that we're an efficient system. Plus, we are a very high volume business. We got stores that would need 40, 50 bikes on a Friday night to get
What?
deliveries out. They would need that type. We got 1 or 2 branches that can do up to 1,500 pizzas on a big day. So how do you deliver that? It just it adds more bottlenecks to your system. You can't be the price leader and be everything to everyone.
What do you say to Uber Eats?
Okay, so regarding Uber Eats, we are testing Uber Eats at the moment.
There you go.
On a very small scale. And again, the market changed. I got put off Chicken Brand's product ordering Mr. Delivery about 15 years ago. And being in the business, I knew it wasn't the Chicken Brand's fault. It was Mr. Delivery and their systems at that point, who, by the way, have jacked up their systems today. I mean, there's been huge technological innovation from any third service courier company. And that is a big difference. We're now at a stage and a level where they give you phenomenal reporting, they add value, their service delivery is far better to the consumer than it used to be. It used to be a 2-hour waiting time using any one of these companies. Now you can track it online, you can see how far you are. So we're saying we're at a level now where we're willing to outsource potentially part of our chain to the consumer to a third party, where we never have been before.
Yeah.
Because automatically you give it to any third party company, Mr. D or Uber Eats, and they have a problem, the customer remembers your brand. But we believe that they are at a level now, technology wise, where we can manage that process together.
Yeah. I think that's an amazing idea. I think it's.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I cannot tell you the pain just because, I set this whole thing up by saying I love pizza. I hate talking to people to order a pizza. I don't want to speak to anyone. I really don't want to speak to anyone.
So you must use our online app.
No, dude. Like
Use the app.
it's way worse than that, bro. It's like I'm just like, and then it's like, and it's the same fucking experience over and over. It's like, please, can I have your number? 07. What did you say? No, I said 9, and then the line's bad, and then it's okay, Mr. Brown. Yes, that's right. Okay, what did you order? No, I want to order what I ordered the last time because I don't want to speak to you. I have my favorite pizza, and that's all I want. Okay. Do you have? I said. So do you? What did I order the last time? I don't know. Well, but fucking hell, you've ordered the same pizza 12 times. Why don't you know? Like, Indiccio is probably, outside of your brand.
Why are you swearing at me?
Not you, man.
Well, who they?
Yeah,
I'm just
saying. Indiccio is probably one of the only ones I can remember my favorite fucking pizza, right? And then Uber Eats came along and they went, you don't need to speak to anyone. And I was like, amen. And I can track it. The whole experience is done for me. It is, to your point, a wonder of technology. Right?
I'll go one step better. Try the Romans Pizza online ordering model, where if you've signed up and ordered before, you can just reorder the exact same order, same branch, bam, bam, one button.
Didn't even know that. Clap that up. You can ring your own bell.
Yeah.
Cool, let's play quote of the day. So, dude, thank you so much for doing this one for us and this pretty picture.
What is that? Who drew that?
So, here we go. So, this is a picture of a bus for those of you who are only listening to us. This is the most picturesque quote of the day we've ever had on this show. Are you sure you're not an artist in your spare time? That's amazing. I mean, it's quite a futuristic bus. It looks like it's got the eye of a fly.
Not one of my talents.
But why don't you walk us through this one?
So, one of the best quotes I ever came across, I was hired to do a presentation for corporate years ago, and the quote was, opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. Now, I understand these days it might not be as relevant who uses bus stops, but the principle's still there. I'm an optimist at heart. I believe there always is another opportunity around the door. You just got to allow yourself to see it. And this one encapsulates that in every form. There's always another one coming. If you miss this one, there's another one around 15 minutes from now. Don't lose your sleep about it. You can find opportunity in everything if you're open-minded enough. That ultimately is what the quote relates to.
I love that. I describe business as being like a train. Some people will get on and some people will get off, as will clients. Do you know
100%.
what I mean?
100%.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, it's interesting, right? Because you seem to get, I don't know where it comes from, but it's this thing called poverty mindset, and it's like, if this thing happens, like if we lose like a big client, like let's just say we lost our client in New York, or we lost one of our bank clients here, like it's not the end of the world. It's not. Do you know what I mean? Yes, it's a blip on the road, basically. Do you know what I mean? But the train, the bus, in your analogy, has to keep going.
Well, you got two choices. You can either dwell as a team and sit and cry about it and not forget. And this is the problem. People, generally, I find a lot of times will spend too much time focusing on what went wrong. Yes, you need to regroup and figure out what can you do different in the future. But what happened yesterday is done. It's finished. There's nothing you can do about it. We can't change the past. So learn from it and move forward and find other opportunities to do those learnings.
Dude, what opportunities do you like, do you think, oh shit, I wish I'd done that? Like looking back at the last, how many years has it been now, by the way?
With Romans 2002. So what is that? 16.
16 years. Okay.
16 years.
So looking back over those 16 years, what opportunities do you rue missing?
Oh, bro. I can tell you what I regret doing more than what I missed, but
okay.
I made plenty of mistakes. But what I've done but it's easy to say. The easy thing is see ideas. The problem is execution, like anything else. So I opened a gourmet burger business, burger bar, before Rocco Mamas and the other guys were out here. Great concept, terrible, absolute shit execution. That didn't work well. I got into the shoe business for combination reasons. My sister and the mother of my child being one of them. I thought what could work better for them than shoes and handbags. I mean, the woman thought it was an easy business. Only till I realized that husbands throw things at you when they discover what their wives paid. And I mean, I've seen some things you cannot believe. One thing I did make, the biggest mistake I made in hindsight with the shoe business, is I should have either opened a strip joint next door or golf shop. Because men screw up sales. They just don't get it. They don't get it. I mean,
hang on. Can we wipe this board clean? Because I need a picture for that one.
So opportunities. So from I've got one or two little property syndicates going, tiny things. telling partners, let's get into the township residential market, to let's invest in CBD, Joburg CBD, to there's no donut brand in South Africa, let's get a donut brand. I chatted to Krispy Kreme years ago. I said, nah, the US brand, they're going to come with these huge setup costs. Well, in hindsight, have you seen how busy they are these days?
Yeah.
So I can go on for days, but in saying that, there's many that I have tried that haven't worked. There are some, thank God, that have worked, and there are ones that I haven't tried at all. But there'll be many more. There's always another one presenting itself tomorrow, and without sounding corny, the market has leveled in many ways today. To compete with a multinational 15, 20 years ago, you needed $50, $100 million. Where you're going to get marketing spend? How are you going to access your consumer base? And these days, if you got half a brain, you can code a little bit, or you got a friend who can code, do a startup online. Maybe not as much in South Africa at the moment, but that will change in the next 5 to 10 years when the greater portion of the population goes online. You can compete against anybody. You can compete against any multinational out there. You can potentially market better than they can without a marketing budget if you become more relevant to your consumer base. If you're a millennial who understands millennials far better than I do, you got an upper hand, regardless of the amount of money I've got backing me.
Yeah. You were at Singularity this week, weren't you?
Correct. I went to the summit.
Yeah. So disruption, let's go there. Okay. Because I mean, I really do believe that like every industry is going to at some point fundamentally change. It's just inevitable. It's because you have a set of organizing principles that dictates a certain eventuality. It's just a case of when. Right? How are you guys like innovating? I mean, you've been this value brand for so long. To your point, you mentioned like the online ordering thing and e-commerce. Yes, okay, it's part of that story. But I mean, where is the disruption going to come from when it comes to something as simple like a pizza?
So there's multiple areas you can disrupt on, whether it's service delivery, whether it's price, whether it's overall offering to your consumer. I mean, there's many ways you can disrupt. Now, the retail sector in the US, let's use them as the template. Your traditional brick and mortar stores have been completely disrupted by online because that never existed. But the fast food sector has always done home delivery. They've always delivered to your door. So where would disruption come from in our segment? There was a gentleman, very interesting, who discussed the growing of meat in a lab that they're busy with overseas. How would that affect the food industry? Will they one day be able to print 3D food?
How would it affect your industry? I mean, like how far off are we talking for that kind of stuff?
It could be 10, 15 years. It depends on how exponential that graph is and at what level that graph is moving. Because you'll see a lot of times the graph will move, a major innovation will come, and out of the blue, the change will be radical. So depending where it is, it could be 10, 15 years, besides the ethical elements, which we won't discuss. The bigger issue is, one, availability of food for the future, because there is going to be a shortage. And secondly is, how would it affect the value chain in terms of farming, farmers, etc.? I don't have an answer for you there. What I can tell you is, in South Africa, in terms of disruption for us, we're saying, how do we make your experience better as a consumer? So internally, you have to phone in. How do we change that? Okay, we're doing online. We're looking at self-ordering terminals. We're looking at centralized call centers. So you don't have that problem when you phone in. Are they revolutionary? Maybe not, but they're all slight incremental changes that could potentially allow us to keep abreast of the times. We are 10 years behind the Western world in many ways when it comes to disruption. And the beauty of it is we managed to create an online portal for far less than what we would have been able to years ago because of the change in technology. So you can do trackers, you can do all these things that it might have costed one or two of these huge multinationals multi-million dollars to do back in the days. Any smaller company can do them now, and automatically you've leveled the playing field.
It's bloody hard though. If I wanted to start Matt Brown Pizza, brand diversification. But how the fuck am I going to steal market share from you? Do you know what I mean? Like legitimately, costs obviously a thing for any business, but like you guys have scale, right? You have brand. Like it's not tech. I can't build an Airbnb for pizza. Do you know what I'm saying? Like some business models don't lend themselves that well to certain industries, right?
But maybe they do, because
Okay.
maybe you don't know what you don't know, and this is the challenge. I mean, if anybody had come to you and said to you, listen, I've got a great idea. I'm going to start an app, and I'm going to get drivers, who I'm going to pay that don't work for us. They're outsiders. And you're going to be able to call it on your phone, and he's going to be there within 2 minutes. 3 years before Uber started, you probably would have said,
Dude, I had an idea for a pizza startup. Okay, I shit you not, and it was based on the Uber concept before Uber, right? But the idea would be that it's like if you want pizza, they'll cook it on the bike itself. So it's actually a bike unit with the I got everyone's attention, but it's basically a bike with a pizza oven on the back of it. So it would come to office parks, for instance, and literally just like you don't need to, and you order it on the app, and then they come and they have almost no cost of infrastructure. Everything's cooked in the thing. I mean, I don't know if this is possible, but I mean, like that could be a way to do it. It's like really direct. You like that idea, Sunil? Okay, hold on. We got a pitch for you.
Sorry, with your whole concept for the pizza with the oven thing. So at campus in our final year, they actually developed that. They did a whole study.
Did they really?
Yes, it's here on Bryanston actually. It's called Pizza App. And they
What?
literally make the pizza on the back of the motorbike. Yeah, I think it was someone from Vega
I'm
or someone
suing
else
them.
that started it.
They've stole my
It's
idea.
amazing, the stuff that they do. You should check it out. Sorry, Matt.
That's crazy, man.
Sorry to break your
And so,
bubble.
but has it been successful?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's here on Bryanston. William Nicol. They're down
Really,
here,
eh?
yeah. It's
No
called
way.
Pizza App.
that's just microwave pizza. Mine's microwave pizza, frozen microwave pizza. Our dough's fresh all day long. We mix fresh dough all day long. Fact.
Okay, thanks Sunil for that. Let's play a game of true or false. Are we ready to play true or false? Are we playing true or false?
As long as it's not truth or dare.
Hey, are we going to do pizza now? Is pizza on its way? Well, let's play true or false quickly. And then we can dive straight into a game of blindfolded pizza tasting. Cool. Guys, are you ready? Okay, well, they're getting their shit organized. Okay, here's Q. Okay, Q, over to you.
Yeah. True or false, you are a pizza expert.
True.
Okay. True or false, you never get tired of eating your own pizza.
Definitely true.
Really?
No, I never get
Pizza
tired.
fatigue, dude.
No.
It's like heretics. It's a thing. Don't you?
I mean, if I ate it every day, I'd get tired of it, but I don't eat it every day.
okay.
I eat it probably once a week.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Cool.
True or false, pineapples belong on pizza.
for me, false, but for our market and our sales mix, true.
Okay. The last one. True or false, wine goes very well with pizza.
I'm not a wine drinker, so I
when-
can't answer that. False for me.
It used to be when I used to
False.
drink like wine and red wine, not white wine though. That would be a great match.
For me, it's pizza and Coke.
Pizza and Coke.
In the US, it's pizza and beer.
Uh
So, but for me, it's pizza and Coke.
huh. Okay, cool. So we good? Yeah. Okay, right. So, dude, I want to talk to you about your future. Right. So you've been at the helm now for almost 2 decades. We're living in the face of disruption, as we touched on earlier. Like, what does the future of Roman's Pizza look like? Have you had discussions internally or potentially with strategic agencies or whatever the case might be, anything like that? Like, is there anything inside you that's like, I want to take it there? Like, in other words, if you were to fast forward 5 years and say, right, or 10 years, right, like, and look back, like, what's that legacy going to look like?
The dream is to be a leading emerging market pizza brand. I don't believe we could compete in the Western world purely for the fact that the economics of running a store are completely different, where other emerging markets, the demographics, the income levels, etc., are more comparable. Whether that's Africa, I don't really know. Everybody was like, Africa's rising, woo, and then suddenly everybody's like, we'll stay away from Africa. So again, there's probably selected economies where we could gain scale in Africa, where we are looking at going into, besides the bordering ones, because those are easy to manage. But if you can't get scale, no matter what sales you do out of a branch in Angola, if I can only put in one and I can't get my money out, for argument's sake, why would I open one there? Why would the brand go into that market? So it's markets we could scale. That would be the dream. outside of that, due to the level of disruption that takes place at the moment and the changing economic dynamic besides the technological revolution, for me, it's at Roman's Pizza, we believe a good long-term plan is like a 1-week plan. And that's the honest truth. I've gone to international business schools, and they say the biggest problem with a lot of CEOs, which I'm very guilty of, is you're not accountable to yourself. And a lot of guys are not willing, especially entrepreneurs, put down their 1-year plan in writing because then you're accountable to it, which I've never done. Which I'm not saying is right.
Yeah.
It might be the wrong thing.
So you've never had a business plan, basically.
No.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. I think it's great as an exercise. I think in the real world, it means diddly squat.
I think it could give you structure for yourself if you're confused. It can maybe put you on a new level. So for me, if you do a business plan, I would see it as you think of new things and new things and new things and new things again, and you might start here and end up there. From that perspective, it's good. But if you think you're going to do a plan and you're going to implement that in the marketplace, you're going to get lots of curveballs coming at you.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, would you ever sell Roman's Pizza?
We're family owned, so I guess it's a family discussion and something we would have to see. But
Well, is it a
everything's for sale,
probability, do you think? Or
anything's for sale.
Really? Eh?
Anything's for sale, depending if the price is right. If the price is right, if our needs change as a family or my personal needs change, you never know. Life throws you curveballs, and we don't know what tomorrow will bring. And I would never say we would never sell it by all means. I mean, I guess it's something we would one day, if it ever came, we discuss as
What's
a
the
family.
biggest acquisition or merger of its kind in your space to date in Africa? I can't think of anything. Nothing.
Nah, there's nothing major. I mean, the brands that got picked up locally by famous brands, obviously, they were fairly acquisitive. So, I mean, they bought from Wimpy to Mug and Bean, etc., the holding company for various groups. They probably did the biggest acquisitions, but a couple of 100 million publicly that we know of. Privately, I don't know. There might have been brands that have gone for more than that, but the majority, there aren't many privately owned large fast food brands in South Africa anymore, and they're all family owned. And to my knowledge, none of them are for sale.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. Everybody has your price, or everybody
If
has
you
their price.
give us 10 billion rand, we got a deal.
Yes, exactly. Take a blank check
make it 9.5
with some change. So, dude, let's play the knockout punch. So, this is your top tip for entrepreneurs, something that you feel, based on all of your years' experience, can really move the needle for them.
So, living in the technologically disruptive age, I truly do believe you got to learn how to fail as an organization. You got to learn how to fail fast and cheap, and fail to a degree that it doesn't either bankrupt you financially or mentally within an organization. So what this means is you got to create an organization, a culture of risk where every single individual is entitled to idea sharing. And unless an idea is really stupid, you got to allow them to potentially run with that idea to some degree, but you got to be very disciplined in how you test new ideas. You can't let a 500-person organization run with 500 random ideas and 300 don't work, and you're not able to measure, calculate, and with discipline decide what you're carrying on with and what you're cutting. So I do believe, because times are changing so fast, and because everything's about transparency, a culture of trust today, especially with millennials and the younger generation. And not only does that allow your colleagues and employees to feel valued, that their ideas, truly, not only that, but they normally have far crazier ideas than what your C-suite could have. And those crazy ideas, the 1 in 10 is all you need. That one crazy idea every couple of years that just blows the market up. So I believe you've got to create a culture that fosters that within an organization. And you've got to be willing to fail multiple times, like Jeff Bezos does very well. They've failed hundreds and thousands of times since Amazon started. But they've been disciplined. They know when to cut their losses and what to carry on with and what to carry on rolling out.
Yeah. Mav, our pizza's here. Are they almost here? Okay, can you hurry those guys up? Test match. Was it delayed with us or with Roman's Pizza? I just want to know. Yeah, we can do the Injustice League. Cool, dude. So the Injustice League is your time to start swinging baseball bats. This is gonna be awesome.
At
But
you.
hey, I'm getting out the way. Previous experiences. But what's your one injustice league or injustice that you see in the world today?
With where we are technologically and the amount of wealth in the world today, I just cannot comprehend how you've got children and human beings who starve. And even more so children. You can't save the world. To have children who are dying of starvation in this day and age, when there are so many billionaires, so much gluttony, and the scariest statistic is, I heard somewhere, that the world produces enough food to feed everybody. The amount of wastage that takes place in the food segment when there's people who are starving in 2018 is just completely unacceptable. I mean, dying of starvation. I again heard that over 50% of people in lower income countries, emerging markets, who end up in hospital end up there from drinking dirty water.
What?
I mean, is that possible? In this day and age, that you end up in hospital because you drank dirty water? I just think it's ridiculous.
Well, I know that there's more people in Africa with access to mobile phones than clean drinking water. I saw that stat not so long ago. But yeah, I agree with you, dude. But why though? What's the problem? I mean, you know this food business inside out. Like, what if you were to point fingers at something, or maybe it's a supply chain issue? Like, what is it? Is it the fact that they can't afford food? Like, why are there starving people? Like, I mean, I agree with you. It's fucking ridiculous.
I just think it's simple greed and for profit. Capitalist society, to be bluntly honest. I am a capitalist, obviously, but somewhere along the line, the system doesn't work. From the World Health Organization or UNICEF or whoever these guys are, you hear the corruption in a lot of these economies where guys donate food. The food never ends up where it's supposed to. So there are people out there trying to do good. I just don't think maybe the structure's right. Maybe enough people want to make the difference. To be honest, I can't give you an answer. I don't know where the problem lies. Maybe the logistics behind getting the food from the dustbin to the people who are starving across 10, 15,000 kilometers. I don't know. Can't tell you, but I can tell you greed definitely plays a part, and for profit plays a part, no doubt.
Yeah, profit's a very big deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick that up after you swing your baseball bat. So,
Cool.
guys, if we can just clean out this table, our pizzas have arrived. Cool. So you can put your mic down. We've got this dustbin here, which represents all food wastage. So we're going to just get you to have a bit of fun in the studio. Should I get out? I'm going to duck down here.
I'll take anything, I'm not responsible.
No, that's fine. You go ahead. You go ahead. Go. 3, 2, 1. Damn!
That's how I feel.
That's amazing.
Is it still
Thanks, dude.
working?
That is still working. Cool. Let's get those pizzas up here. We have a blindfold for you.
Blindfold me.
Yeah, we're going to blindfold you. And so we're going to test how well you know your own menu. So if we can bring those pizzas up here, please. And then we're going to get you to taste one by one, and you're going to tell us the name of the pizza on the menu.
Cool.
All of them. Let's go. Cool. So Mav's busy blindfolding old John over there. How many pizzas did we get? 6. Okay, good. John, how many, what percentage do you think you're going to get right? 100%?
Guaranteed.
100%. That's brave. That's very brave.
You gotta aim high, eh? You gotta aim high.
Uh-huh. Okay, cool. Let's see what we got here.
To be honest, I mean the 6
Hold on.
flavors.
Hold on, here's your mic. Okay, go.
Okay, so to be really honest with myself, are there 6 different flavors?
Yes.
Okay, then if I get 5 out of 6, I'll be happy. You might have confused me with one of them.
These were some amazing looking pizzas. Oh my god, this is so good. Okay, so I'm gonna hold your mic for you. Okay, who's gonna feed him? You hold the mic. Okay, cool. Here you go. So here's your first one. Okay, take that water off. Give me that plate. Yeah, and then I'm gonna put it on the plate for him.
I can navigate the box.
Okay, here you go. Here you go. Here's your first slice. Okay, off you go.
Where's the slice?
Down below on a plate there.
Can I touch the product?
You can. It's yours. Okay, go. I'm hungry as fuck right now.
This is the best tasting pizza I've ever had.
What is that one?
Guys, you created your own topping. You're trying to catch me out. This is not a pizza off our menu.
Is it? What is it, man?
Stock standard pizza off our menu.
Uh-huh.
It's potentially a vegetarian.
It's a vegetarian pizza. It's the vegetarian. Okay, we'll give him that one. Okay, let's have the menu up on here. In fact, Michelle, you can navigate the menu. Oh, hang on, here we go. Mav, you know what you ordered, right? Cool. So there you go. So it is the vegetarian? Yes. Well done. Woo! Okay, let's go with number 2 here. Here, these pallets. Do you want to clean your pallets so you're not confused?
No, I'm perfect.
Okay, cool. Here you go. There you go. Top. There you go. That's the one. That's interesting. You can't get that wrong. That's an obvious one.
Classic cheese. Classic plain cheese.
Plain cheese.
What's cheese and tomato?
Uh-huh. Okay. No, is that not it? Mav? You
margarita, classic cheese.
That's the right one, dude.
Sorry.
Okay, cool. So here we go. Here's with your next one. This one should be very easy, dude. Even I know what this is. Here you go, mates. What is that? Doesn't know.
There's green pepper, there's onion.
3, 2, 1, go.
There's tomato again. Is this another vegetarian?
Is it a vegetarian? It is a vegetarian. It is a vegetarian.
Guys, you gave me another vegetarian.
This is a vegetarian. Okay, yeah, we'll give you that one.
There's
We'll
some
give you that one.
confusion.
Alrighty, cool. You can drop that one in there. Right, let's have a go with that one. Here you go, sir. This one's a classic. Do you know this?
It's Debbie barbecue sauce.
He's not getting it.
Barbecue chicken.
Yes.
Oh, well done. Barbecue chicken. This man knows his pizza. Okay, this one is your second last one. Here you go, sir. Right here. Okay, this one looks interesting. What is that? 3, 2, 1.
Can I have one more bite?
It's your pizza. I think the bacon at the top would definitely throw me. That's the thing that's confusing him.
Can't be a 4-in-1.
Is it not a 4-in-1?
Could be a 4-in-1 actually. If it's got bacon on top, it doesn't have pineapple, anything else. 4-in-1.
Mav, what is it?
Bacon Supreme.
Oh, you didn't
wrong.
get that one. Okay, this one is the one that you got to get right, dude. Okay, here we go. What's this one here? Let me take this one. Here you go, sir. That one's interesting. What's that? 3, 2, 1, go.
One more bite.
He's a two-taster guy. No idea.
It's not sweet chili chicken. It's chicken.
Yes.
Definitely. Shoot, man. It's chicken and mushroom.
No.
Chicken and mayo.
Chicken and mayo. Oh, dude. Thanks for playing a game of... What are we calling this game anyway? Eat Romans. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Let me get you... Where's your serviettes gone? Can we get some behind you, Q? Yeah. There you go. Okay, guys, come get your pizza. Don't be shy. The show's going to go on for a few more minutes. Cool. Yeah, so here you go, Q. Take this off. There you go. Thank you. Cool. Enjoy. Happy lunching. Compliments of Roman's Pizza.
For the record, I got 2 wrong.
That's...
What I said was
Hold on.
vegetarian was actually peri-peri
Here's your mic. Vegetarian. Oh, that's right. It is. So you go.
So for the record, I actually got 2 wrong because this was burning and I couldn't understand why. This ended up being the peri-peri chicken and not the vegetarian. So
I knew why.
You would, Mav. Right. Cool, dude. Well, thanks for playing along with us. That was great. So just a couple more questions, dude, and then we'll wrap up and finish off the pizza that you've left for us. But I'm just always interested to know, like, if you were to go back, 16 years and do something differently that you feel would have changed the game for Roman's Pizza, like, what would that thing be?
I might have, at the time, in hindsight, maybe been a bit less hasty with franchisee selection. When I first joined Romans, there were lots of guys with packages, lots of ex-civil servants. Setup costs were lower. The sites we chose were great. The problem is we didn't use any form of psychometrics or anything else in terms of evaluating potential franchisees.
Do you do that now? The
We
psychometric
started
Really?
incorporating data analysis into the selection because we've made so many mistakes over time. And the big problem isn't for the brand alone. It's the individual, the human being who claims he wants to be in the business. And you assume because he's got the money, it's going to be his business, he will. And then you realize 6 months down the line, oh no, how do we reverse this? You can fire a manager, you can't fire a franchisee.
What do you do in that situation?
Well, I mean, generally, we don't want to defranchise stores. We have in the past. We don't like it. It's not good for the brand. It's not good for anyone. It's a lose-lose. So what we do is we generally encourage them to sell, maximize on exit. At least they get money back. My biggest fear is a franchisee losing money with our brand. A person who puts his lifelong savings in. And we insist on owner-operators. And that for me is just, it's a fear of mine. So at least the guys managed to exit reasonably. What we did was we changed our induction process where a prospective franchisee has to work open close for 1 week, morning till late at night, 12, 13-hour shifts for 1 full week while we watch him. And through that, a lot of guys have turned around and said, whoa, thank you very much. We don't want to do this anymore. So we give them worst case scenario up front so they can realize what it entails because, you know, owning a fast food place is glamorous. Owning a restaurant is glamorous. It's not.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to put in the work, right? Or they don't have a sense as to actually how much work runs into. I would suck at a retail business. I really would.
That's the hours. The hours are abnormal. Yeah. They're no longer than a corporate world. The corporate world 6 in the morning to 7 at night. Here you're 9 to 9. But the abnormal. It's weekends, Friday nights, Saturday nights. You're behind shop counter.
Yeah. I got you. Dude, why do you do what you do? Like, after 16 years, you clearly have a huge passion for the brand and for everything that you guys are doing in the retail fast food space. Like, what keeps you going? Like, what gets you out of bed in the morning?
To be blatantly honest, the wins. So the customer sends an email who says, fantastic, it was amazing. The franchisee posts on the WhatsApp group who sponsored pizza into the community. And you see kids and their smiles on their faces eating pizza. The franchisee who joined us, who was earning 10, 15,000 Rand a month in the corporate world, who today has 3-4 stores earning 10 times that amount. Seeing the difference that the brand has made on his life. And obviously he made it himself as well. It wasn't the brand alone. So seeing the impact I think that we have on people's lives is what allows me to keep on going. And then the fear of failure. Obviously,
That too.
sustaining this
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
you got to get up every day and say, whoa, I'm going to fail if I don't keep this thing alive.
Yeah. Dude, that's amazing. I love that. Guys, should we do Q&A? Or are you guys all busy eating pizzas?
Can I reverse this and do the guessing game on Matt?
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Ask me questions. Okay, who's doing Q&A? Who's doing Q? Okay, Q, put that pizza down. Cool. So here we go. So these are some questions from our online audience on YouTube. Q, over to you.
Okay. Candice asks why Roman pizza is different from the rest.
The main reason Roman's Pizza is different from the rest is that we are extremely focused and disciplined on being the price leader. We do campaigns that no one else can do. They're too scared to do them. So, I mean, when we run a campaign, any 2 large is $129.90, any 2 off the menu. When we run any 2 pizzas with 1 topping on for 99 Rand every day of the week, there is no other brand who's willing to take that risk and fight.
Okay.
Are you happy with that answer, Q?
Very happy.
Thanks, Matt.
Musa asks, when it comes to Roman's pizza, what vision did you have?
What vision did I
Yeah.
have? When I first joined at Romans, I didn't really know what I knew. All I knew is that we had to grow fast to get buying power in place, marketing budgets in place, because if we didn't, somebody else would. What I did know was that the market was fairly virgin at the time. I just didn't know to what degree, so I knew we had to grow. That was my vision then. My vision now is obviously to build a sustainable legacy, a company that can sustain itself long after my family's gone, and that can be around 200-300 years into the future.
Unless you sell it.
No, even then, it must still be sustainable.
I see what you're saying.
Even if you're selling it as somebody who care enough, or creating a team of people who can carry on the legacy of the business.
Thomas asks, what's your favorite pizza?
My favorite pizza, hands down, it's terrible. It's a create your own. So we got a fettuccine pizza on the menu, which is feta, pepperoni, and chili, which is amazing. But I like adding extra black olives on it.
That floats your boat, does it?
Floats my boat, brother.
And I'll tell you what's floating mine right now.
What?
Is the fucking peri-peri chicken that's just gone down my throat. Yo, bro! Woo! That was rad.
Okay, the last one. Peter asks, why does leftover pizza taste so good?
Probably because you're hungover. That's an honest answer.
That's a very good insight. You could build a campaign around that just for the youth, the affluent youth. Is
Well said. You're not going to charge me for that, eh?
Well, I mean, only if we do it.
Okay, that's fine. But I can plagiarize that idea and run with it.
You can.
Okay.
It's fine. There'll be another one. Execution's everything. Just remember that.
Well said.
Dude, John, thank you so much, dude, for being on the Matt Brown Show. It's been hugely entertaining. I've enjoyed it. I've especially enjoyed your pizza. But what I've most enjoyed is your story, dude. I think just to have a really great South African family-owned story that's just doing amazing things. And I really do hope, dude, like that in 200 years' time, like my kids and whoever are like eating Roman's pizza. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So I wish you all the best on that journey, dude.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you to you and your team. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Woo! Tap it up.